Hello and welcome to today's live stream. For any of you who are still there after what is a 40-minute delay from the start time. It's been a while since I've done this. Life's been a thing. So I wasn't as set up as I thought I was. But I'm here and ready to talk about some Ricco Kühn horns. Just as a reminder, since I haven't done this in a long time, and I know many of you may not remember how this usually goes. I'm going to be talking about a comparison of Ricco Kühn horns, but if you have any questions about Ricco Kühn's or French horns in general or brass instruments in general, or if you just want to chat about something completely different, I have the chat open in front of me and I'm ready to answer any questions or really talk about anything brass instrument related. So, as far as Ricco Kühn's are concerned, most people are familiar with the W293, which looks like this horn. This is not the W293, this is the W293 Innovation, which I did a few live streams about in December. But it's a general standard Knopf/Geyer wrap with no modifications. And I think even though it plays really well, one of the reasons why it is so popular is because it looks right. It's something that the horn community, I think, is kind of plagued with right now. Everyone needs a horn that looks exactly the same instead of paying attention to how it sounds. But this does look right, being a standard unmodified Knopf/Geyer horn. By the way, for those of you wondering, no, I did not keep the Innovation that I had back in December and January. I decided to talk to Ricco Kühn when he was our guest at TMEA in February, and I'm having some modifications made. So I'll be getting a new Ricco Kühn Innovation in the spring, later on in the spring. I guess it's spring now. And I'll talk more about that later. Let me see here. Oh, I am clipping. Let me turn down my volume. Okay. I'm probably not clipping as much now. Sorry about that, everyone. But yes, back to the W293. The Innovation is lighter, quite a bit lighter than the W293, with some different tapers. Although it uses the same bell flare, and you have your same choice, ML1, ML2, ML3, with ML1 being the most focused sounding of the three, and the ML3 being the most broad sounding. The horn I had back in January was ML3, and one of the modifications I'm making is I'm going to have that sent with an ML2 bell. But this one does have the ML3 bell on it. The other horn I'm going to be talking about is the W293X. This is the W293X. And as you can see, it is modified. The change valve, instead of being in a row here, it's actually been moved over. And the reason why Kühn did that, it came from a modification that needed to be done to his triple horn in order to make the triple horn work. But if we take a look at his webpage, he states that the custom models are typical Ricco Kühn horns. That means craftsmanship on the highest standards. Beside fruitful dialogues with professional musicians, the design of the model W293X received benefit from our experience in designing triple horns. The W293X is a very interesting alternative between the easy playable K model and our triple horn, which focuses and carries the sound in the hall very well. Next to valve position, the great handling and the long lead pipe are causing this. It has a great sound, adaptability, and is very smooth and pianissimo and focused in fortissimo. So, understand a native English speaker is not typing that up. But essentially, the X is supposed to have a more focused, more projecting sound compared to the W293. And then the last model we're going to be taking a look at today is the W293XS. The W293XS is the X with independent B-flat tuning. So if we take a look at Ricco Kühn's website regarding the XS, originally this model was born after constructing a W293X. Oh wait, sorry, I did not realize that the screen does not actually fit. There we go, that probably makes a lot more sense to those of you viewing now. Originally, this model was born after constructing a W293X with a B-flat tuning slide. But after comprehensive studies, we recognized the potential of this idea. The slightly higher resistance causes more safety in the high range, which is not comparable with most of the current horns. So we shall see in our comparison whether this horn really does have an incomparable high range. You know, it's one of the things I really like about Ricco Kühn horns is that they're truly trying to innovate all the time and push the design of their instruments to the next level. So as far as our comparison, we're going to start off with the innovation first. I forgot to change the mics around, so I'm going to do that again so it doesn't sound awful. Sorry, this is one of the issues that caused the delay of the live stream today. So I just realized that I'm not actually getting any sound on the other mic. Let's try that again. Seems to be ready now. So yes, I have spent quite a bit of time with the innovation, and I generally really like it. It has a nice open sound while being focused and still very pleasant. I would say it's, you know, there are horns that have heavier, bigger sounds, but I think this one would project just fine in a hall without the extra, without the downsides of it being harder to play. So let's go ahead and let's try the 293X. So remember, this one is the one that's based off of the triple horn, and should have a bit more of a projecting quality to the sound. So yeah, I would say that that horn felt like it was a more compact sound. And generally, the more compact the sound that you hear, especially in a small room like this, the more of a projecting quality that the instrument will have out in the hall. On the downside, in the softer sections, I don't feel like the X had as a round of a sound, as beautiful of a sound as the W293. So that would be the trade-off between those two models. Now let's give a try to the 293XS. And yeah, this one had an even more compact feel to it. Generally, no issues. All three of them are very good horns. I think I still prefer the Innovation over the X and the XS, because both of them just lacked a certain pleasantness in the softer ends of the phrases. But yeah, so those, but I think if you want that more compact feel, the X and the XS would be great. But one thing I didn't try, since on Rico Kühn's website they claim this has really great security in the high register, let's play something high and compare the three. Yeah, that claim checks out. The XS was much easier to play in the high register than the other two. The other two weren't hard to play in the high register. They played in the high register just fine, but the XS had a very unique ease of playing up there. You know, really, if I needed to play the high parts of the Ravel piano concerto, I would really, you know, if I had $1,000,000 and I could just keep an XS in my arsenal like that, that'd be pretty. That's a pretty good compromise there. I mean, you could of course play it on a descant, and watch out for. I have purchased a new descant and I've had it for a few months now, so you can watch out for a new video on that coming soon. But yeah, the XS is a very, very good high register. Between the Innovation and the X, it was about the same, so no difference in the high register there. Let me check out the chat here. I have to keep this pretty short today due to the late start. I actually don't have a lot of time before I need to go. But we have Timothy Allen. It's back. Thanks for letting me know. I'm glad I'm not just talking to no one out there. Nice to meet you. Says, I think the Innovation sounded the best so far. So someone who's in agreement with me, I think the Innovation sounded the best out of these three. Now, one thing to keep in mind, though, is that there is a price difference between the three of these horns. And the X is $92.50, and that is for a new horn. And all three of these horns are available for sale at our shop right now, so you can make an appointment, come on by, and give them a try at your leisure. The Innovation, which is falsely showing out of stock. I just created a new website and inventory isn't quite syncing as well as we would like. But it is in stock. I have the Innovation here. It is $10,050. So a much higher price due to the lighter weight, and frankly, it just takes Ricco Kühn a lot more time to make the Innovation than it takes to make his other double horns. That's why the price is almost $2,000 more than the new X or a new regular W293. But honestly, I would say that the extra $2,000 is worth it. And it's really about what you want. If you play the W293 and it's a great horn for you, it's not like a piece of technology where you need to upgrade to the newest model. But there's nothing quite like the Innovation. And it's definitely worth trying. So if you try the Innovation and you like the Innovation, then yes, it's worth $10,950 because of the extra time put into it. And then the XS is a used horn, and it's $8,300, and that's a good price for a used W293 XS. Almost $1,000 off of the new price for a horn that's pretty hard to find. And as we've discovered, for a horn that has a really rockin' high register. So if you're looking for something to help your high register, that might be it. Okay. Let's see here. We have a few more chats here. Aaron Alter, do you ever plan on reviewing the Hans Hoyer K10? If we get one in the shop. The horns that I review are generally the horns that we sell new, and we don't sell the K10 new, and I can pretty confidently say we will never sell the Hans Hoyer K10 new. There would not be enough of an audience for a horn like that. And at least not in America. And they're horns that we get used on consignment. So yes, if we ever get a Hans Hoyer used on, someone wants to leave on a consignment with us, you can look forward to a review of that, but it's not something that would be on the schedule. Off topic, any thoughts on Lawson horns? They seem pretty inexpensive for a pro horn. They're inexpensive because the sound is not super compatible with how most orchestras play these days. Now you can really make a horn sound like anything. It's your own concept that drives the sound bigger than any physical characteristic of the horn. But I can say if you're going for what would be called a marketable sound, so something with and marketable is kind of a more focused, more open these days, then the Lawson is not going to do you any favors. They are big horns. They tend towards broader, more covered sounds. In addition, a characteristic that's a positive to some people, and frankly it's a negative in my opinion, is that the malleability of the sound is pretty limited on Lawsons. So I like horns where when you're playing soft, you can really make it sound beautiful and covered, or if you're playing something by Brahms, you can really get that Brahmsian smoothness. But then if you need to play Mahler 5, you can go super bright, super brassy. I like a horn that really provides you with all of those options within one horn. Lawsons, in my opinion, tend to sound the same up and down the dynamic range. But because of those issues, those are the reasons why Lawson horns tend to be cheaper than other horns of a similar quality. And no one can deny the quality of a Lawson horn. They are great horns. They are well built. If you read Walter Lawson's, I've got a chance to see them before. I wish I had the chance to actually look through them. I mean, the acoustical studies he's done, he did, are amazing. I mean, the horns play in tune, and they're really acoustically efficient. But they are big, broad-sounding horns. But the thing is that they're great. Depends on who you are. They can be great for some people. Like if you're not, marketable sound really goes to like aspiring professionals and students who are looking to freelance or win orchestra jobs. Then marketable sound really matters. But if you're an amateur and you're playing in an amateur orchestra, even an amateur at a high level, if you're most of your playing is not being paid to play, then something like marketable sound doesn't matter as much, and you can appreciate the playability and the great sound of the Lawson without worrying about quote fitting into like what the professional world would look at. That's probably a longer answer than you were looking for, and I hope I haven't. I hope that was understandable, but thank you for the question. Again, thank you for everyone who stuck around through the 40 minutes of dead air at the beginning of this. On something I'm going to start doing, starting with this video, I'm recording the audio and video separately, so you could look forward to an edited version of this video in the near future. And thank you again. Bye, everyone.